that it's glimmer, but
it is glimmering.
Ooh.
It is so nice.
Did you dye that?
So nice.
It's actually a Dymax.
Yeah, I got something really cool in the mail today.
But yeah, it's
the more I think about it, the more I think of
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Stanley wanted a quick reminder of at the end of the recording, it'll be kind of finalizing, so don't immediately close the window that the browser's in, if that's possible, and it'll just kind of do its thing and then close itself or something. Cool. Just we'll be patient at the end. How's everyone?
Good.
We'll do take two.
Hang on, Chandler, what'd you get in the mail today?
Oh, I didn't know if you guys heard me on that one. I got my 20-year PGA membership tag.
Oh.
Wow.
It makes me feel so old. The more
I was I feel like such a baby.
You are old.
You're old.
Thanks. And also, they gave us like a kind of a retro one too. So there's two.
Oh, you're gonna put them on all your bags?
You can color coordinate to your many bags.
All my pound bags.
That's a big deal. That's sweet.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah.
If you added up all the PDGA memberships in my household, we still don't make 20 years.
Oh, save that for the podcast, Raven. Come on.
You gotta be close, right?
We are close because I'm at I think this is my 4th year. So it would be the 4th year for me, Alex, and Tony, and then I think Amber would be close. So one more year of all 4 of us.
You're right there.
And we'll almost catch you.
As we move forward through time, you guys will slowly surpass him.
But if we add in my mom, Monica, and my dad,
do they have to live with you?
Then we're close. Then we're only shy of one.
So what you're saying is I am equal to one household plus extended family in Minnesota.
Yes.
I'll take it.
I feel like you should all share a mailing address if this is how we're going to tabulate things.
To be fair, I do still use my mom's address for half of my stuff.
Which cluster are you going to claim? All right. I guess we should jump into this thing. All right. Stanley says it's looking good. He's already recording, so we'll just have to stop talking for 10 seconds, and then we'll go from there. When is he not? The Donut King? Are you kidding me? All right. So there's going to be music playing. Hey there, Frisbee family. We've got a full house here on an afternoon edition of Morning Round with Greggy Biscuits. Thank you for tuning into the OTB Podnet. We have, wow, what a beautiful collection of people. It's Team UPLAY in the house. We've got going clockwise, Chandler Fry, Raven Kline, Zoe Andyke, and Dustin Keegan, all representing. All right, everyone simultaneously say hi. 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
I was a little very sorry.
Yeah, we're just going to test the limits of our bandwidth early on just to see what kind of signal strength we have. Well, thank you for joining me, everybody. How's everyone doing? It's the quote unquote off season. Chandler, you go first.
I'm doing great. I am currently hanging out in Seattle, Washington. The weather is beautiful. It's been rainy the last couple of days. So I got out and played around a disc golf this morning, and I'm feeling wonderful. How are you feeling, Raven?
For Minnesota conditions, it's been pretty nice here, but we had a drop just like the other day that definitely kept me inside. But I've pretty much just running since we got back from the trip.
What's a drop? What's a drop in Minnesota terms?
Well, we were in like the mid 30s for a while with like no snow. And then
Stanley just passed out. Stanley's literally just passed out.
So that was really nice. And we even got into like the low 40s one of the days last week. So I played multiple rounds.
Nice. So good.
Yeah, and then it dropped yesterday, and we had actually like some snow, and it was in like the 20s or something.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Some accumulation.
But the garage setup is good. And then yesterday, Alex and I built another shelf, so now it goes along the wall.
That's very impressive stuff.
And we've got the double that we're just getting figured out and organized.
Did you count the total number of discs there or not?
No, but you're not the first person to ask that.
Yeah.
So I feel like I should, but we don't know if we should just count the ones on the wall or if we should also count the ones in the bins. And then, we also have discs that we sell and the ones that are in my van still and my bags.
It's not. Look, it's not a problem. It's not a problem.
So no,
It's a
that's what we were
profession.
saying.
All right, team UPLAY HQ over in Oregon. Lay it on us. How you doing?
Yeah, we are in Oregon, and it's actually sunny today. We've been through back-to-back 2 atmospheric rivers. So I think the whole state was kind of underwater for a minute.
Yep.
The next one's not coming until next week, so we should be good, right?
Exactly.
We'll take it.
A few days of some sunshine, soaking it up.
Yeah, and
We're doing great.
Doing great over here. It's been a really happy couple of weeks now, just a couple of weeks since we've been home. But oh my gosh, incredible.
Yeah, bring the people up to speed. This is, again, I was alluding to an off season, but there is no off season for disc golfers, and especially not disc golfers like y'all. So we lay out the trip. Tell us when you left. Give us some highlights. I mean, I'm gonna get you all to chime in, but could you introduce the trip?
Yeah, well, perfect segue. So the season ended, at the Tour Championships in Charlotte, North Carolina, the Disc Golf Pro Touring season. So I and Dustin and myself and a couple UPLAY board members and volunteer extravagans, James Koizumi, flies to Charlotte 2 days after the tour ends, and then we all together fly over to Africa. Well, James actually didn't fly to Charlotte. He flew from Calgary, Canada to Amsterdam, and then we all got to Uganda is where we started. So we had just shy of 3 weeks in African countries. 7 out of 8 of us, being all the United States folks, visited Uganda and Kenya. James visited both of those places, but split away from the crew for 4.5 days in the middle of it and did a solo UPLAY teaching and all things disc golf and teaching in Zimbabwe. So that was awesome.
That's incredible. What a wide area to cover, and again, like introducing disc golf to basically a brand new area, right? People who've never experienced it before.
Yeah, and I'll lay some foundation for everyone to kind of get chimed in. So UPLAY is in our now full 2nd year of partnership. Actually, we're entering in our 3rd year of partnership with the Paul Macbeth Foundation. And I think everybody's probably pretty aware that they have an amazing mission to build courses in underserved areas around the world. And so in December of 2022, Chan the Man, also known as Chandler Fry, went to the build with Paul Macbeth Foundation in Uganda at Ndeje University and Katosi, 2 different communities there. So UPLAY, being the sustainability educational partner of PMF, goes back in about 1 year's time, plus or minus, to all of their locations. And we really take the education piece to the next level. And so also we added Kenya into this mix because PMF was able to partner and resource with Kevin Becker of Rimpa Wildlife Conservancy up there and get the first course there in Kenya. So we just decided, since we're all this way across the world, we probably better teach everybody that we possibly can and then some, and run a PDGA sanctioned event at both locations. So
heck yeah. So the first tournament's there on the continent, I guess.
Well, yeah, NC Ravens wearing that beautiful ostrich open shirt.
Very cool.
Kevin Becker ran the very, very first PDGA sanctioned event that we know of
in Kenya.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The Kenyan Open.
Yeah, because there's been some work done.
The Zambia Open has been going on too. Yeah.
Okay.
Zambia Open. Yeah. That's been going on for a few years.
Nice.
Yep. But yeah, now we're expanding upon like pretty much the growth that's happening in the entire continent, and especially in the nations that we were able to visit. And something that's really key to kind of get your questions rolling is that Ndeje University, both PMF, UPLAY, and the PDGA are deeming as, I would say, kind of like the torch holder or like the leader in and being able to help establish more disc golf in more communities.
That's great. So how many total courses were you able to visit on this trip? Do we have a count?
Anybody else?
Just two.
I think it was just the two.
This time
Just
for the
the
meet.
two. Okay, so
James
each
visited-
has
Or three, I guess. Yeah. I thought you meant in
The
Uganda.
just
That
two,
was
right?
the solo mission from James. Yeah. That's great. Just to reestablish, the year.
Katosi.
Oh yeah, three. Yeah, three.
Yeah.
Katosi is an interesting one because a few baskets were stolen, and so it's just 6 baskets in a field essentially. So it is considered a course, but I completely forgot about that. But yeah, Andyke University, Rimpa Estates, and Katosi disc golf course. 3.
Yes.
Very cool. And you feel like people were responsive to the experience. Who's going to be the next great thrower out of those places, do you think?
Ethan.
Yeah. We got some talent coming up.
Oh man,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah, go ahead.
young kids are impressive. They pick it up really quickly. They're super competitive, and if they see their buddies making putts, they can't leave the session without making at least one. So it's just like it's gonna drive. We're getting scorecards sent to us like every morning of just improved scores from all my African friends, and yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes in the next few years.
Yeah, and the first name that was thrown out there, Ethan, isn't he only 10 years old, you guys?
I don't even think he's 10 yet.
Shout out Ethan.
He's 8 years old. Yeah.
And I mean, he was like one of the number one superstars that came to all of our minds. But I would also throw out that we've got some really serious competitors, both in the community of Katosi and at Andyke University.
There we go.
And it's like Dustin said, it's unbelievable to see their hunger and their desire to get better and their responsibility that they've all adopted to teach more people. The fire has just continued since we left. They have all been taking the teaching aspect of it really, really seriously because they already understand that it's making them much better players.
Yeah.
Right,
we also signed up 20 new members for the PDGA in Africa. So we boosted their PDGA membership percentage by like 400%.
Oh, at least, right?
Yeah. Wasn't it 3 before we got there?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's very cool. What other competitive sort of outlets were there for the kids, I guess, in particular in those areas? Like, was it mostly soccer, or like what was the more popular sports before they got to start flinging some discs?
Well, I think that's what's kind of interesting about it and why they're running so much with the disc golf. Because I talked to one of the kids about it, and the way we think of hobbies over here, it's just not the same thing over there. Like they've got school, they've got work or family or whatever it is, but then they don't have like a million things thrown at them to choose from. So when they have something like this put in front of them, it's a little bit easier to be like, yeah, this is what I'm going to put my time into. And they're all really excited about it. At a lot of the schools, they had, basketball hoops or volleyball nets or things like that. And I think what we saw the most was kids running around on like football pitches with a ball, because it's the easiest thing to get a large group to play with only a ball.
Right.
So, you don't need a lot of things to do it. But I think that's why disc golf also catches their attention, at least in the places that we've put in courses, because you can do it with just the one disc. Granted, you get hooked and you want more than one disc, but at least you can play with just the one.
Right.
And it's an opportunity. They see that we came over from the US and Canada because of this sport, which means that if they put their time into the sport, then they might have opportunities to also travel or to leave or to do other things.
And Chandler, tell them what you witnessed in 2022 up at the university, and then maybe, what we learned from the dean in our trip.
Yeah, so in 2022 when we went, there was some talent there, but it was very raw. We saw a lot of younger kids. We saw there's a gentleman named Israel, who's our project lead, I'd call him, over there, and he has done such an incredible job in the last year. When we showed up, not only was I amazed to see the baskets in the ground and Andyke University. I almost started tearing up because last year we had ordered them and we had shipped them like 3 months in advance. And then they got stuck in Mombasa, Kenya at the port, and they just could not proceed to Uganda. So they weren't installed until later. But just seeing the baskets in the ground and then seeing all the kids that we had not seen the previous year playing disc golf, and seeing some of the discs we left with them was pretty awesome. But back to Ethan, like Ethan's 8 years old. He's throwing 300-foot sidearms. He has drive, and it's just incredible to see just what the locals were capable of doing over there without any intervention or help really from Paul Macbeth Foundation or anybody else. And having UPLAY there this year was just icing on the cake, because now they're just ready to go to the next level, because they stepped up already, but now they're just super prepared. But yeah, the talent level, like Dustin was saying, it's crazy. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. This might be a hot take here, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have some touring players in the next 4 years from Africa. I think the main issue is just funding and getting them over here, but we can make it happen. We can make it happen. Get Ethan over here. Hashtag Ethan American.
International Disc Golf Academies. How far are we away from a disc golf academy?
I mean,
who knows?
We got Power Academy in Estonia. We got Paul Ulibarri Institute or something here. I don't know.
Well, and that's what's cool about Andyke is that they're known for their athletics, which I think Zoe was kind of leaning towards, because they're known for it. And last year,
I was going to talk about
with go for it. You're way more involved than I am.
No, you do your thing. You do your thing.
No, yeah, go for it.
Oh, I was just leading into it. Yeah.
She's just passing the ball. She's just moving the ball around.
So it was pretty crazy. It's something that I don't think anyone was truly prepared for. But we played a doubles tournament at Andyke University, and Dustin and I paired with the two youngest kids, because we were like, we don't want to win, but we ended up getting first and second, unfortunately. And then after that, we realized that the students in that competition were getting reduced tuition. They're getting 5%, 10%, 15% reduced tuition based on how they placed in that tournament. And had we have known that, we probably wouldn't have played. We would have just helped out and walked around. But they also, the same thing happened at the first Ugandan tournament at Andyke. They're giving discounts on tuition, which is a huge deal.
Wow.
And I wish we were able to know that before, so we could have advertised it and told them about it. So probably would have pumped them up.
Sounds like you guys are late for class, maybe. I think you have to
yeah, seriously.
get back over there.
It was crazy though. That's just such we don't do that in America. And there it's just 10% off tuition. There we go.
Well, there's a great excuse to have disc golf courses around to practice if it's going to result in kind of tangible effects like that. That's really awesome.
And it shows that the university is committed to disc golf and the sport, and they believe in what we're doing, what their students are doing and participating in.
And I like hearing what you said about, you taught a wide age range, and you see the older students or older folks, feeling like they can teach to others too. And now you've instilled them with that kind of tools to do that. So that's really awesome. What were some things that you didn't expect to see that were positive, just from coming into the villages, interacting with people? Kind of what surprised you about the trip?
I'll say something.
Raven's going to jump on this one.
I don't know if surprise is necessarily the right word, but it was just one of those kind of heartwarming things to see, is that whether it was a 3-year-old kid or a 50-year-old man, anyone who got a disc in their hand turned into a child. They were just so excited to be doing whatever it is that we were doing. And in all the places, on the places in Uganda, we had our group of Ugandan coaches. So the people that we had worked with, and then they were continuing. And you would see some people who maybe didn't understand our English as well, but then we'd have our Ugandan coaches translate. And when they figured it out, everyone's faces just lit up, and they were smiling. And they, we were trying to teach the kids, after you throw, don't run, because then someone might hit you. And turned out I had to stop some of the adults, and I was like, no, you got to wait. And they just were so excited to go grab the disc. And I was like, no, you can't do that, because then the kids are going to follow you. And they were just oh, I'm so sorry. And they would just pick up more and try and get ready to throw. And it was just so cool to see. And if you were at any point, in your own career of disc golf getting down on yourself and maybe you forgot why disc golf was so great. Luckily, I wasn't really feeling that, but going there would take you out of it because you're just like, wow, this sport is that great. And just getting to see it on that level was really cool.
Yeah. Chandler, do you want to chime in on any surprising things?
Well, I was just I was feeling that way last year when I went Raven, and it definitely inspired me. And then I ended up having a horrible year this year, so I'm not sure where that inspiration went.
But you kept going, which is the
that's why
important
you
thing.
went back.
I kept going.
Yeah.
Down.
So this was my second time in Uganda, first time in Kenya, and I wouldn't say anything really popped out as surprising, but similar to what Raven was saying, it was just fun to just see the people watch the disc fly for the first time, see a kid make a putt for the first time. It's just a very powerful moment. Like in any sport, if they make a basket for the first time, they're just pumped and they can't wait for the next time it happens. I think those are the moments that are sticking with me, just the smiling faces, because there were a lot of smiles, and and it's just that's all I got. But what do you got, Zoe and Dustin?
Yeah, well, to me, like, we teach a lot around the States and other places, and even visiting certain age groups, there's like some trepidation to like try something new. And or like specifically in like middle school age, they're like sometimes too cool to try stuff, or you'll see the groups being like, oh, I don't know, or wait for one bold person. But there was none of that. It was like, hey, we got a new something to try. Oh, everybody's all in. And that just boosted our energy to like teach as much as we could. And that's something I want to see more around the world, really, is just that excitement to try new things, because that's like empowering for us personally outside of disc golf. Just like be more excited when something new is put in front of you by people who know what they're doing.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of the perfect segue. I have two things to add. I mean, just right there to compile on what Dustin said, I was surprised about how much I learned about UPLAY's ceiling and really expanded on our mission. And what I mean by that is, yeah, we taught more kids at one time than I ever even thought we did a great job. But what I really mean is our ceiling is higher because we understand that we're responsible for helping create community leaders, for helping creating total health. And that means mental, physical, and some people might say spiritual, or some people might say social health. And we watched it unfold in front of our eyes. And we just use disc golf as the vehicle to do that. And so it's that, like, taking on like that whole embodiment of this is way more than just disc golf. It's joy on every level, and man, does it boost the health and on every like level of health. So that I was shocked by that, because I've done so many years of teaching a lot of sports, but now a specific disc golf. And I had my mindset that we were going to Africa and we're going to teach thousands of kids and hundreds of adults. And man, I know what this is like, but it's just going to be a new culture. And it was just so much more than that. And so I guess the big surprise for me is that, and Raven, I love that you were like kind of the biggest piece of this moment, that actually we got on this boat ride from Katosi, the fishing village, and we went to an island that none of our Ugandan coaches had been to. Just maybe the guy that was like driving the boat had been there, or steering the boat, whatever. Anyway, so we realized right away that most of the people on this island probably haven't seen a white human and certainly didn't understand English. So our project driver, Sammy, gets off the boat, talks to the community leader, the village leader, gets the okay. And they had brought one of the traveler baskets and a pile of discs, and we all just thought we were going on a boat ride. We thought we were done teaching for the day. So number one, here's the shock in the moment. Surprise, we're going to teach more. Right. And then what the biggest surprise is, we get up to their only type of recreation, which is their football pitch, their soccer field. And, we had probably somewhere between 80 and 90 of their local village folks come up there, men, women, and all the ages of children. And Raven grabs like the back of my shirt and is just like holding me back. And she's like, this isn't for you right now. You're going to watch and we're going to see the fruits of our labors with our Ugandan coaches. Because actually Israel had traveled from university all the way down to Katosi for our final day of teaching. So he was there. And here's our, USA crew. And actually James wasn't with us at that time. So USA and Ugandan coaches. And we got to kind of sit back and watch. And even though we couldn't understand the native tongue, we're watching their body language, hold the disc flat, don't fall in front of the mark, flat and straight, keep your eyes, like they had everything going from sidearm to backhand to distance putting and what's a short putt and what's a foot fault. And what they're saying because they just spent hours and hours and hours all throughout 2 weeks with us. And so I was shocked and I was surprised because I got to see it all unfold and work and know that it was going to work for as long as forever, hopefully, right in front of our eyes. And
wow,
like my eyes filled up, my heart filled up, and like, I don't know, again, like the joy tank of everybody just filled up in those moments for sure.
So you didn't have to teach, but you got to witness the fruits of your kind of teaching efforts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then immediately after that island experience, Zoe came back and fed orphans. So it was quite the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was quite the day for her. Yeah. I'm sorry I missed the island. I was actually on a little spirit journey with the Bishop of Katosi, Timothy Kakuza. And he took me to this village that's only like probably a 5-10 minute car ride, but it's compared to Katosi, it has no running water, no electricity. All the families have 5+ kids, and it was just a truly eye-opening experience for me. But then I went back to the orphanage and ended up giving a speech to the entire school. And then they showed up back from the boat trip, and I was just like, "What is happening? I don't know what this day is." But everyone was just having some crazy experiences that day.
It was I was probably like the most emotional day across the board for everybody. And I can even say I went both sides of the spectrum on the day too, because when we got, we had gotten on the boat, but we got on the boat maybe 3.5 hours later than they told us we were going to go on the boat. And we were just like waiting in different locations. And I was like, what are we doing today? Like I felt kind of useless because we were just like sitting in a new spot and then we'd leave and then we'd wait at a new place. And we get on the boat and we see the basket and we're like, oh, I'm so not in the capacity to teach. Like you're on this boat and you're like, oh, Lake Victoria's pretty, but why do they have Frisbees with them? I was like, oh man, I got to find some energy for myself. And then we get to the island and this part's kind of unrelated, but it's really funny. They carry you off the boat. Like there are no docks anywhere. So you're feeling however you're feeling. And then a guy just walks up to you with his arms out and you just, tuck yourself and he carries you across the water. If you're a female, if you're a guy, you get on his shoulders and he walks you across. So that's always a weird moment because you're just like, oh, thank you so much. But then we get to the island and like Zoe explained everything and you could see everyone of like our team just sitting there watching and we're like, holy crap. Like this is such like something you couldn't prepare yourself for. And Zoe kind of touched on it. And it's my favorite part about the trip in a whole was anytime we got to teach teachers, because you can go anywhere once, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be a sustainable learning or a sustainable thing like that. And to watch that happen, I felt like Zoe did, where you were like, okay, when we leave here, disc golf isn't going to leave also. Like it's going to stay and keep working and keep building when we're gone. So that it all happened. And then we were late getting back to feed the kids. So we like hustled in to meet up with Chandler and then took over. And then he told us how his day went. And we were just like, oh my gosh, like what a wild experience. And then eventually we went back and had dinner, but everyone was just like emotionally beat. And we were just like, what a day.
Wow. And what a culmination to the trip, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. And it must have felt like a whirlwind most of the time. I mean, just following along, it was like, where are they? And they're okay, now this and now this and now this. So living it must have been really incredible.
Well, that's how it felt being there too.
Yeah.
You're like, where are we? Where are we going?
So
I gotta
I'm
say,
so
the
proud
last week kind of drug on though with all of our ailments, but
started
Speak for
the road
yourself.
weariness caught up to you. Yeah.
the road definitely caught up to me. I had some major back issues from a super long air trip or airport drive. We got stuck behind the presidential motorcade, kind of. He travels with like President Museveni travels with like 35 armored vehicles, pretty much an entire army. And our 3-hour car trip turned into like 5 hours maybe or something like that. And we're just going over these bumpy side roads, and we're all jammed to this little van. And the next couple of days were pretty rough on all of us. Yeah.
But you made it there, and it was and it sounds like it was a very worthwhile trip, especially amongst sort of tumultuous times, to say the least, here in the world in general. So to be on essentially a peace-giving mission, spreading the community of disc golf, however you want to frame it, it sounds like it was pretty magical. So you want to talk a little bit about the final pushes to get the funding together to get to Africa, and specifically, let's talk a little bit how Disc Golf Strokes wrapped up for 2023.
Yeah, and I was definitely hoping that we would touch on that during this podcast, because what a key and important piece to making that final boost of UPLAY raising enough funds to actually break even on this trip. And that might come as a little bit of a surprise to some of our listeners, but it's been a lot of years of trying to figure out how to teach disc golf and how to fulfill our mission without putting our entire heart, mind, body, and soul into it and paying to do it. And this amazing, first of all, we had a wonderful grant from PDGA International, so I have to shout them out. And then we had some fundraising going on our team. I know Raven had a raffle and things like that, and Chandler donated. But what the real topper of the whole deal was Disc Golf Strokes. And for those of you guys that don't know about it, in a nutshell, this year, at OTB, we were able to have kind of a private painting party with the pros. And we had professional artist and professional disc golfer Patrick Brown kind of leading the charge with the artistic whole view. But we made these 6-foot by 6-foot canvases and then auctioned them off. And OTB was nice enough to be the title sponsor and funder of making that whole fundraiser go down. And then also helped us boost getting the auction out, which just happened it was like the last 2 weeks of the touring season that we actually went ahead and auctioned those off. We had some great partnership from like UDisc Pro memberships and grip bags and just pros donating into it. Alex Meyer, who is Raven Kline's significant other, who was our media capture professional extraordinaire on the trip, actually dyed some discs as well. So it was like team participation, group participation, and the love of like OTB helping us start this fundraiser, get a baseline year underneath us, because we want to build on that fundraiser. And we hope that it would be one of UPLAY's 2 pretty much meat and potatoes, if you will, or like biggest fundraisers of our year, to be able to accomplish these kinds of things. All that money normally would go into the general fund of UPLAY and spread it out throughout the annual budget. But this year, and for Africa specifically, it was what made the break even point. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Special.
Well, we were glad to be a part of helping to facilitate the trip. And I know it took a bunch of people's effort on multiple different levels. So glad it all came together. What are we looking for next year in Africa? Maybe somewhere else? Where's UPLAY going in 2024, Zoe?
Well, unofficial.
North Pole. We're doing it. North Pole.
North Pole.
We're bringing disc golf to the polar
bears. Is that going to be a tone pole, or are we going to put baskets up there? Just maybe pole 18. Yeah,
penguins.
Just emperor penguins.
It's funny. We did have a chance just this last week to meet with PMF and discuss where our initiatives are. And yes, there will be a revisit to African countries. We really need to get back over to Zambia. And when I say back, I mean just get some educators there. UPLAY's never been to Zambia. So that was on the request list. Certainly starting everything off in Uganda. The PMF recently, like a couple weeks ago, just installed a new course in partnership with the university for the Pygmy people just right there on the border of the Congo. So we want to hit that up. We always want to support Kevin Becker in Kenya. And once you have a team over in Africa, you really need to spread out and like make sure you see those places. But we got to go to Zimbabwe because James like literally set them all on fire about disc golf, and they still don't have a course. They only have one pop-up traveler basket in the entire country, and they only have 125 discs in the entire country. James carried them, checked those bags, and delivered them to him. So we gotta revisit these places. And we know that Ethiopia has a disc golf scene. Tanzania has a disc golf scene. And Madagascar is getting it going. And then there is the South part. Cape Town has some disc golf too. So we got to send some resources there. But the top of that list is really more focused on Zambia, the revisit to Uganda, and then the first visit to the Congo. And then secondary to that is Colombia. And PMF actually went there 2 full years ago. UPLAY didn't have the capacity in our calendar this year to squeeze in Colombia. We really wanted to, but it was it's right up there next to the African revisit on the top of PMF's list. And PDGA International, I'm happy to report, supports the visits. They're really excited to hear the plan and the budget and want to support both of those visits. So that's what's coming up for international. And I'm going to put a ... because you never know, there might be a third location. But yeah, Chandler, what were you going to say? Or did you have something? Sorry.
Oh, I've forgotten entirely. But I think I was just saying Rwanda is another country that has a disc golf course.
Yes.
There was actually a team in Rwanda putting together a disc golf course while we were in Uganda, and none of us really knew about that. Yeah. I'm still not entirely sure what that was all about. Yeah.
Africa definitely has a goal of potentially creating an African tour at some point. And to get all these countries to have a course, at least one course, they can do that. And so that's like their next high priority of progression, I would say.
And with, I don't know if I already said this or not, but important to re-say if not, Andyke University is manufacturing baskets, and those baskets actually were the ones that were put into this recent Congo course for the Pygmy people. So that's the hardest part. It's the most expensive and it's the hardest part. And so the fact that they can kind of in-house intercontinentally manufacture those is really, really important. So I think that the East African Games now, which is kind of like their University Olympics that happens every other year, they've adopted disc golf as the 17th initiative, and that's just already happened. So that's a domino effect of universities all across Africa to be hungry to have a course, put in all of the structure and infrastructure to have a team. And then we've already donated. UPLAY left starter packs with a lot of those university sport coach leaders and a curriculum book. So they're ready to get going. They just got to get the courses and get to playing.
And then domestically, continuing on the same trajectory, hitting locations along the Pro Tour, doing other educational forums and whatnot, I imagine. Yeah,
we have met with the Disc Golf Pro Tour for our year end, and we're all set to go for 18 Community Connects, which is the name of our teaching programs that happen here in the U.S. And they are open to a proposal for Community Connect at each one of the 5 European events. And so
great.
I'm working with a small team in Europe right now currently on how we can put that together and how we can provide the training prior to the 5 European events. And I love that the PDGA Europe and that the Disc Golf Pro Tour, I mean, they're like our big brothers, and sisters. They've got our back. They want to support it. They want to see it happen. And they want to host individuals from all of those places, to be competing for those top spots at the big tournaments. So
we want to see some more flags on the hill there at Winthrop, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Very cool, y'all. Well, I'm proud to be associated with anything UPLAY. I mean, it's great work that is happening, and it sounds like it's just going to continue into 2024. Let's go around the horn one more time. We'll start off with Chandler. This one closing thought. Well, we're gonna have to talk about hand pies later, but give me a closing thought on 2023, and then one thing looking towards 2024. What are you thinking about?
Why do you have to bring up hand pies? Now I'm just hungry.
I was just going to talk about hand pies, and then how do we all get on team hand?
pie?
How do we all get on team hand pie? That's the most important mission.
Absolutely.
Shout out!
I think we got
Shout out the hand pie company.
Yeah, man. Well, I think the Africa trip was a huge success. Thousands of children taught, thousands of discs given, baskets, everything. Shout out to Zoe and Dustin for leading the effort. UPLAY is an incredible organization, and I, for one, am proud to be a part of it. 2023 is over, but 2024 is looking good. I look forward to announcing a couple of changes in my career, in my life, that are going to be kind of fun to check out. So stay tuned and give money to UPLAY.
It's a teaser. That's a teaser from Chandler Fry.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Raven,
Chandler.
Raven, how about you?
That's a tough one to follow.
Pretty good, right?
I mean, that was pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I also want to thank Zoe and Dustin, not only for bringing me into the Community Connects and the UPLAY stuff all year, because those are fantastic. And I've kind of always had my foot into coaching, but never really gotten a chance to do much with disc golf. And the UPLAY Community Connects were a fantastic way for me to be like, okay, yeah, this is just as great as it was when I was coaching other sports. So those were great. I'm excited to continue to work with them next year and hopefully even be more involved. The Africa trip was great, and it was a really different way to test people. And by people, I mean like our group. You know, it kind of it showed you that, like, when you think you're tired, you're actually not yet, because you can be more tired.
You haven't been exhausted.
You haven't been exhausted yet, which puts other things in perspective. And it was just a really cool trip and very successful. And then as far as 2023, I don't know. I mean, I had a lot of improvements in the year, and I hope to just keep going with that in 2024. I just finished my second full year on tour, and I'm going into my fourth year of playing the sport in general. So 2024 should be a good one.
Do you think you'll have all your discs be put away, and will you finish organizing your discs maybe by 2024? No, never.
By 2024, that's
so many more.
Close. That's so soon.
Well, no, by the end of 2024.
Oh, still no.
That's the correct.
No, I'm excited. Answer. I don't think I have any good teasers like Chandler, but
okay.
I mean, just watch out for me though. I think it's going to be a good year.
All right, DK
That's
and
it.
Zoe.
That's all I got. Give money to UPLAY, obviously.
Well, yeah, you know. Money,
we're here for it.
Helps. Turns out we have to have money to keep doing our amazing things. We're not doing it for the money, but we need it, unfortunately. But I want everyone to support amazing people like Chandler and Raven. These are top pros doing amazing things and giving back to their sport. And, you know, we've been doing this for a long time and trying to give back as much as we can while doing it. And so just recognize when people give back to the sport and support them, buy their tour discs, support their merch, say hi, thank them for doing what they're doing out on tour. So they're good people, and we can't do this without amazing people who support us.
Yeah. And I want to just go right off that. It is the December fundraiser currently, which means it for UPLAY, it happens all month long. You just jump on our website, uplaydiscgolf.org. You can see all these different really cool incentive gifts or levels of incentives per donation. But something that's different, this is the 6th year we've ran it, and something that's different this year than we've ever done is kind of based on whatever your donation is, you can earn raffle tickets. And on December 31st at noon Pacific Standard Time, we're going to draw 10 different Christmas raffle gifts that have been donated by really sweet companies and top level pros. You know, to shout them out right away, Missy Gannon, Jeremy Coling, Nate Sexton, a few of those guys have done some donations, but I want to also shout out DGA, you know, Disc Golf Association. DGA has put in a couple baskets and put in a really nice set of discs. UPLAY, of course, and Dustin and myself puts them in. But make sure you get on and check out the December fundraiser, because you really wouldn't want to miss out on some of the really awesome goodies, but you don't want to miss out on being a part of where the greatness goes. Like the goodies are cool, but the greatness of the funds that we raise is something that you get to be like, yeah, I helped. I'm part of that. I directly am a piece of why UPLAY is successful. So please help us get to our goal for the December fundraiser and get on there and have some fun with it and win some goodies. And then, yeah, I'm excited to announce that I'm headed over. I'm going to play some disc golf this year. I have reached my inspiration. And, you know, I love commentary. I love DGN. I've got my jobs and my schedule set up for that. I'll let the Pro Tour roll all that out. I'm extremely happy with the jobs that I got and with my co-commentators. And so that's cool, but I'm headed over to New Zealand for the Tour Down Under. Simon Feasy and Henry and the team over there have put together a suite 4 events and 4 weekends tour in New Zealand. And not only am I going to play on the weekend and kind of enjoy what I think is paradise, I haven't been there yet, but I am going to take UPLAY's teachings and books and discs, and I'll be doing something a little more ramped up than a Community Connect per event. Now that we've been so successful to deem coaches, UPLAY coaches over in Africa, that's absolutely what I'll be doing over there in New Zealand. And from here on out is coaches and teachers training. So a lot of big things going on there, but big shout out to ThoughtSpace and Infinite for loving on me and sponsoring me and loving on UPLAY, because they, you know, Infinite especially has always provided starter packs upon starter packs, and they're in the thousands at this point. So it's the sponsorship personally, and it's the support professionally and publicly to UPLAY. And this girl's going to get some top finishes on a podium this year.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Well, that sounds like a great trip through New Zealand. Shout out to Simon Feasy of RPM Discs, looking it up. Raven, you want to give some shout outs? Who?
Like to my sponsors?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you,
they would love that.
Out? You can shout out anything really.
Were you going to say hand pie again?
I was going to say hand pie. Yeah.
Talk about hand pies. Jeez.
Favorite hand pie.
I haven't had a hand pie yet.
I know. We got to smuggle you some.
I'm sorry. I've never had one.
I'm jealous of you. I'm so jealous of you to have
your first experience.
I would love to thank Dynamic Disc as my main sponsor. They have been very supportive of me, and I know that they're, you know, still willing to back me moving forward into the next year. And obviously I have a couple Frisbees from them, so the plastic's pretty good. And then I also want to shout out another round in Charlotte, and I mean, they're in Denver also, but the Charlotte guys have
they're all over the
special place in my heart. And then Throw Pink, and honestly, shout out my Rat Pack here in Minnesota, because they are the ones who got me into disc golf, and they're the ones who keep me from completely losing it sometimes when I'm on the road.
They're also the ones that you have more aces than, right?
Correct. You can shout that out too. I did collect my 3rd ace of the year this week, which puts me back in first place. So I just have to hold them off for 2 weeks.
You can do it.
Come on, Snowstorm.
Pile it on. Why not click a few more notches on the old
No,
counter?
I do. Yeah. That was actually when I got, so I was in front, I was with my mom and my stepmom when I got the ace, and they were really excited. And after just like cheering, the first thing they said, they're like, that means you're winning. And I texted my dad, who was off at a conference, and I was like, hey, I got an ace today. And he's like, oh, I'm so mad I wasn't there. He's like, but also that means that you're ahead of Tony now, right? And I was like, yeah, you're right. And then my stepmom, Monica, she was like, okay, but now you just got to get another one. And she's like, don't even make it possible. She's like, you just got to really stop them in their tracks.
Close it
all-
out.
I have
It's all
I have
about
a
the
very
proper
very supportive family, and we're all very competitive.
Love it.
it comes through in the performance, right?
Yeah.
Chandler, you're up next. So favorite hand pie flavor, followed by give a shout out to our boy Anthony here. Happy with par.
All right.
And then
I
talk
got
a little
it,
bit
yeah.
about, if you don't mind, just elaborate a little bit about people in his perspective or his position as smaller vendors in disc golf and kind of what that means to cover those sort of niche areas, not to put him in a, narrow what he does, but I mean, there's a bunch of this happening. There's a bunch of media in disc golf. Just kind of elaborate on those couple subjects, if you don't mind.
Favorite hand pie. I think I have to separate that to two separate hand pies: the
Smart,
savory hand
smart.
pie and the dessert
Absolute.
hand pie.
Smart.
Favorite hand pie, savory, is gonna be the cheeseburger hand pie. That's a cool shirt.
We have a costume, and we have a
Look at that
costume
quick
change.
change.
That was amazing. And maybe
was
Zoe's
fast.
going to pull one too. That's the Cooler Heads Prevail design.
Well, I
from
heard you.
Happy
I
with
heard you
Par.
say happy with.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
The video is
great.
my
Okay, so
entire room, so if I change, you'll see everything. So I'm not.
Cheeseburger,
Hand pie hat.
cheeseburger hand pie.
And then
Oh,
birthday
yeah.
cake hand pie. Remember the birthday cake hand pie?
Oh,
so
who could
good.
forget? Shout out
Oh,
Thomas
man.
Gilbert for the intel on that one.
That guy ate more hand pies than I feel like anybody has in the history of the
He's
world.
good for 3.5 hand pies a day. Easily.
He was going like 5.
Easily.
He got like a
Yeah.
whole box of whatever. Okay, back to the actual question. Anthony Taylor over at Happy with Par is one of many individuals that started a fantastic small business that entirely has to do with disc golf. And the whole premise of his company is supporting mental health. That's why Happy with Par is just it means just to be happy with the ordinary, happy with the plateaued lifestyle, like just don't get so hung up about a bogey, because it could have always been a double bogey, just be happy with what's going on. And that doesn't mean do not strive to be better, but just life is all about peaks and valleys, and it's all about weathering and just walking up those mountains. What am I talking about? But it's also very important to support these small businesses.
Life, man.
Such as right. Support these small businesses and show them some love. Check out happywithpar.com. They have some fantastic products, as you're seeing a couple of our fantastic people on the screen wearing. We have the Cooler Heads Prevail shirt on Raven, and then we have the Big Bob's tie-dye Happy with Par shirt on Greg. And I gotta say, you guys are both looking fantastic. But yeah, support smaller businesses that are going into the disc golf industry, because they're making a difference. I'm not wearing Happy with Par, but I'm gonna give some shout outs to my sponsors: Discraft, Ledgestone, Happy with Par, and I'm forgetting the other 5 or 10, but they're out there.
So many
and
names.
I appreciate them. Shout out to my dad.
Yeah, Chris
That's all I
Fry.
got. Chris Fry, Christopher
right.
Lynn Fry, and shout out to Greg for having us on here today. You're one of those people on the road that whenever I see him, my face just lights up, and I appreciate your positivity and your vibes.
It's true. I love running into Greggy Biscuits.
Hey, that's right. Well, I love
He's the
running
best.
into all of y'all.
He's the best.
Looking forward to getting around in one of these days.
And
Someday.
Greg, I just want to say
Yeah.
another thank you, big, huge thank you to OTB, the whole entire staff, the ownership, and Mama Deb. I'm looking forward to next month getting back on track and planning Disc Golf Strokes 2024. And if there are listeners out there that have professional artist skills, doesn't have to be just painting or spray painting. You can certainly give us some more ideas, but this year we want to really kind of boost the pieces of art and boost the fun and some of the success stories for our pros, our professional touring disc golf artists. So we're looking for more professional artists. Jared, I know, and our friends with Guardian Alien are going to be joining the fun. So that's the first kind of
sweet
secret I'm letting out of the bag there.
I like that.
We're looking for some professional artists to pair with our amazing touring professional disc golfers. And man, I can't wait to get that party started again. Thanks again, OTB.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be another great year in Stockton for OTB Open, the 4th, right? Let's go for it. Well, thanks for joining me, everybody. Yeah, I thought that was great. I think we covered all the UPLAY highlights for the year. Optimism is brimming into 2024. Multiple costume changes. Stanley, does that hit all the boxes? Yep, he says double thumbs up. All right, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Let's all say goodbye at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Doodles.
Bye.
See you later.
And I'm going to say thank you once again to the Disc Disciples for tuning in to another installment of Morning Round here in the afternoon in the podcast studio. And thanks for joining us, everybody. And we'll see you at the next one. Bye. All right. So it'll just kind of end. And
Thanks, Greg.
hey, that was really fun. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Greg.
Dude, amazing. Thank you so much. And it was just under an hour, so that's digestible. Be
Yeah.
sure to text, email, or send us an Instagram message when it is live so we can share it.
Yeah, we've been kind of cranking through them this week, so we're a little bit backed up, but we'll get it up soon enough, and then we'll put all the necessary links that we need to have. Yeah. So just I guess let the windows finalize on your computers there for a couple minutes while it's I don't know because they can leave the room, right, or whatever. Stanley, they can leave. Yeah.
You just have to
Okay.
keep the page open.
Yeah, I think just keep the page open for 5 to 10. Yeah,
Okay.
cover up your camera.
I want a hand pie now.
I know. I'm
Oh
sorry.
man, that's
can't-
so funny.
hard
I
to
hope
talk about.
Handpie sponsors OTB somehow now.
I mean, we were joking with Thomas and Ella last year.
I would say if they
About
don't sponsor
doing
Ella,
the jerseys. I feel
I
like
know.
it's the birthday cake, that's the pattern, and then it has the hand pie maybe like with the number or your name over it or whatever. I guess we don't have numbers in disc golf, but Raven, what's your number?
5.
5, obviously.
Wait,
Yeah.
Raven, how many discs tall are you? I know I need the answer. I don't think 12 is right, but
Oh no, you were off by a little bit.
Oh, I'd have to think about that for a second.
Well,
I was
because
thinking like
it's not just
Different
discs. It was
discs, yeah.
specifically because
Not-
Robert Burridge was just like, well, how many drivers and how many? I was like, that's the
Right.
fun of it is that you don't know, obviously.
It's mixed up.
Yeah, but it's 130.
Oh, I was gonna guess. Damn it.
oh, there are some good guesses then. Okay.
Yeah, someone did get it, but I'm just letting a couple more people guess before I tell them.
It's over.
Yeah,
I was
'cause
only
it's-
118 off, so not.
Yeah,
How
you
tall-
were really,
did you
really
tell people
close.
how tall you were?
No, that's
You're
why it's fun.
5'9".
I shrunk. I used to be 5'9".
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like that's a pretty good guess.
I'm like 5'8.5".
All right, I was gonna be
I think
wrong
you said
anyways.
like 5'6" or something like that. It's like damn.
No, but I think I don't know if it has to do with my knees or not, but I'm not 5'9" anymore.
Posture.
Wow, 130 discs, huh? You must have had a fair amount of drivers in there.
Yeah, I did have more drivers. Well, because we had one of these shelves and they were on the ground, and then you can't move it with all the discs on there, so I had
Not
to.
easily.
No, well, that's fair. Yeah, I probably could have, but it would have been tough. So I had to remove all the discs while Alex was finishing up the second shelf, and then put them back. But since all the discs were like laying out, it was kind of cool. I almost wish I'd stacked up more and made like a background,
hmm
done like a photo shoot or something.
You just covered the whole entire floor with one layer of discs.
Oh, that
Every
would
surface.
we could have done more than
Covered
one
them.
layer. Yeah,
Great.
it's not a very big house.
Would look good.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I thought about it, doing like a disc angel.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's good. It's like the sprinkling of discs just falling. It's like, oh, look,
That would
it's disking,
hurt
it's disking
so-
outside.
Disking
You go out and
outside.
Right
Make
to the
go
eye.
make disc angels. That's a good one.
I wonder how much of
that's-
the yard we could have covered.
How much
Mm.
cardboard could be covered? That's right. Yeah, that's exciting with Jared coming for next year. I guess
That's
we'll do
so
another-
cool.
That
We want to
happened
do it
in
at the shop.
spring.
You want to do it at the shop again? We don't have to talk about this right now.
Yeah,
Obviously,
no,
we'll
I
talk
really
later.
do. And I really still think that keeping it kind of the homie crew and invite only
Mhm.
with like music and our friends and touring pros, because the public gets to enjoy like the auction and the artwork and they get to go to the event and stuff, but like to have this experience with professional artists and watch, like, kind of as a gift to the professional disc golfers. Like, I would like to keep it like our OTB private party. Chandler, you will be there, hopefully.
Yeah, Chandler.
Is everybody going to OTB?
So I'm very artistic.
Everyone's in Stockton this coming year?
Yeah.
Plan on it?
Yes. And
I'll see you guys in Texas for a lot. I'll be out there a little bit.
Zoe, I have a question for your plans, like the professional artist thing, since people will have like different styles and possibly different mediums. Is that something where the artist would provide their own stuff?
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
I doubt we'll do a full 6 foot by 36 foot canvas thing again. I think it could be like there's a big easel here where, of course, we'll have to cover everything with cardboard and like have stuff in the background. But I think that per artist or per Jared's coaching, we'll have like 6 different stations that could be all different sizes. Because I will tell you one thing: trying to mail out a 6 foot canvas is not the easiest thing, and that was expensive just to buy the boxes to figure out.
Yeah, the tubes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna definitely like have multiple sizes of different styles of art, I think. And
if you have any suggestions,
if you have suggestions, I want to.
Who got someone threw down some dough on one of them, right? The Simon one, or
Someone, straight up bought one.
Yeah, I bought one for $3,000. Simon's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where did that have to go?
No, because my like best friend from college is an artist and does like murals and stuff like that. But I was just wondering about it because I don't think it would be that hard to convince her to fly to California. Because I would be like, hey, do you want to hang out with me for a week at this and then also paint something?
Yes.
But I figured I should get more information before I ask her about it, just because.
Yeah, put a poke her about it and then get back to me and see kind of if it was like, I think she's kind of seriously thinking about this.
Yeah.
And I'll wait.
And we'll try and get a local Stockton artist. Like hopefully Jeremy can do it this year. Who would do a mural.
And I know, Zoe, you and I briefly talked about how you want to do it next year, but you were saying that you would still possibly pair up a disc golfer with an artist, or is it just the artist creating something?
No, I want to still pair a touring pro.
Yeah, you play Ambassador Pro with an artist. So you and your friend together, super
that would be like amazing. But she's going to be ultimately teaching you or asking you to use a technique. And then you're going to be like, guess what a hyzer is? Splatter. Or
gotcha.
Whatever, you know.
In your face.
Cool. In your face.
The whole teaching and learning and creating and fun, it will be there on both sides.
This is the disc golf way.
Cool. All right. Well, I will mention that.
Splatter. And
I don't have any clothes on today. I usually have a hat that has a little splatter left on it still.
Yes.
Like,
I just wore
from paint.
From paint. Yeah, from
the
paint.
sports bra that I wore when we did disc golf strokes. I just wore it the other day, but like all the paint, I was with Ella and she just kept like hitting me with paint. So everywhere that she put paint on my shirt just went through the shirt and just ruined is not the right word. I think it enhanced the sports bra.
Made better forever.
It was a white one.
Good
and now I can't wear it with white shirts because they're just like, hey, you're bleeding. And I'm like, no, that's just red paint underneath.
You've got red on you.
Secret from
all right, Chandler's out. He's had enough. All right.
Yeah. Well, secret real quick for my friend Raven and Greggy to hear. I have the capacity to play OTB this year. It's not on my commentary schedule, and we're going to be there. And I'm going to have to really do some hard work and some major asking to be able to get in because I don't have my tour card anymore. But I do plan on playing OTB, and then I'll be commentating the Portland and pretty much all the Elite Pluses, which I'm excited about. But Val and them are back on for Worlds. And so I think I'm going to try to qualify and get myself back into Pro Worlds and play Masters Worlds. So I have
that's awesome.
Like it's New Zealand, 1 Elite Series, maybe 2, and then both Worlds.
That would be so much fun.
You just got to hit the highlights, right? Cut the crap.
Look, Chandler came back to us.
Chandler.
He tried to
Damn.
escape, and
Hi.
then Stanley put the hook on him and pulled him back in. All right, does it look like it's final?
It said something went wrong. But
Something went wrong.
Don't do that.
How's Stanley?
I think Stanley says he thinks it's good.
Oh, good. Thank you, guys. Dustin and I've got some work we got to get to, so we're gonna
Okay.
peace out. But thanks
Okay.
so much again. I really appreciate you all.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
yeah,
thanks for being
we'll
flexible,
see
guys,
you.
on my schedule.
I guess maybe we'll see
Hey,
you
no
in
problem.
Texas. That's the next time. In person, anyways.
Yeah, if you're not going to Florida,
I don't think so. It's a little far.
that's all right.
Tejas.
We'll come visit
Sounds
in
nice, though.
Stockton.
Yeah.
Unless we're gonna go play a tournament in Mexico. I want to do some of those too.
I almost went to Puerto Rico last weekend.
Oh, cool.
They sent a message to us, like everyone who was a DD like pro this year, and they were like, "Hey, we know it's last minute, but the team that was in Puerto Rico really thinks it would be cool to have like a pro come down." And I'm like, "It's Monday. The tournament's Saturday and Sunday."
Oh my god.
And I was like looking at this message, and I was like, maybe. So I like started looking it up because they were like, "We're willing to cover $300 of like a flight, and then all lodging would be taken care of while you were down there." So I was like, I mean,
Okay.
sounds good. I was like, that does sound
$300?
pretty good. I was like, I don't know. So I started looking it up, but like the cheapest flight I could find was one of those ones where it took like 24 hours with like a 9-hour layover, and it was like $590 or $600. And DD wasn't really in the place to cover like the remaining costs. And I was just like, dang it. Like that would have been pretty cool to just go to Puerto Rico 1 week out of nowhere.
Puerto Rico.
Out of nowhere.
But I did just see that the tournament on Sunday, it was like super windy and super rainy. And I was just like, I'm so glad you guys had fun.